got a soft voice.
Thank you very much.
I got a soft voice. So, first of all, I want to say my name is Sherry, Food-Winner with First Merchants Bank. I want to say thank you guys for coming out to support the newest NAMBA chapter of Indianapolis. So we're so excited. National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers of America. So first of all, I wanted to, again, I wanted to thank all you guys for coming. I wanted to thank the staff before, you know, at the end in case they run out for having everything set up and all the food. So we really do appreciate you guys coming to support us. What we wanted to do is I wanted to have talk a little bit about how NAMBA got started. And the only person that really can kind of give you the story and the background and the vision is our own, one and only Diana Rice Wilkerson. I'm going to bring her up to the front. I do want to say before she does her little part is there's about 5 of us that started this NAMBA. We're called the ambassadors of the group. And I wanted to bring everybody up. We've kind of been working on this for the last 2 years. There's Dorothy Dodd. She's with Sincere Bank. And then we have Terry Todd. You know, they're okay. She's with Key Bank. And then we have Dorothy Hill, or I'm sorry, Dottie Hillman. Dottie Hillman with First Financial. She said last year I got her bank name wrong, so I apologize. So I wanted to thank these girls for, you know, we've been working very hard trying to get this together. And I'm just going to kind of turn it over to Diana so she can tell you how NAMBA actually got started. So take it away.
Well, thank you, thank you. So 2018, thank you, Dorothy. 2018, I think I was having a moment, and I was out on the internet looking for an African American minority mortgage bankers group, and I saw NAMBA, and I read about it, and it was early April. And there was a national conference being held in Atlanta later that month. And I was just led to do it. I know we have all had these experiences. It's like, I'm just feeling drawn to this. I just didn't know. And I talked to Janice Bradley, who's my real estate partner, and I said, hey, I think I'm gonna go to this conference. She goes, by yourself? I said, by myself. I just feel like I wanna go by myself. And so I went, and it was awesome. I met Tony. Where is Tony? Hey, Tony. I met Tony. I attended the workshops, and I was just totally excited. And I was excited because one of the things we have been talking about with my colleagues here is the fact that many of us are moving into that retirement age. And we were concerned about not having people of color coming along behind us. I mean, the average age of a loan officer is in their 50s. The average age of a real estate agent is in their 50s. This is just across the board. So we've been concerned about that, and NAMBA was all about it. It was all about it. And one of the things, and I'm not going to say more than this, one of the things that their initiatives is to partner with colleges and universities and help students identify, or at least introduce to students careers around mortgage finance and around real estate. And what better way to go ahead and start, you know, training those to take over, especially when we're in the rocking chair, because more than half of me is in the rocking chair. Let's see if the half of me is there. And so anyway, I called Dorothy and Sherry, text them first, and I said, here's the deal, what do you guys think about it? Both of them were excited about it, and then once I got back to Indianapolis, we got together, started talking about it, and here we are today. Okay? And I think I'm turning this over to Tony Thompson.
And Tony is the CEO.
Tony is the founder, yes, and CEO of NAMBA. And thank you, Tony, so much.
We appreciate you very much. Well, hey, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today in Indianapolis? Okay. I tell you what, if the weather's like this in December, I'll be happy to come back. I'd love to come back and spend a couple more days out here getting to see the great, beautiful city and driving around. And so from that standpoint, you know, the tourist convention bureau is doing a great job with the weather. You know, we got some overcast coming. And so, first of all, for those who I have not met, I want to take this opportunity to personally introduce myself and say thank you for coming out, taking time today to help, one, just learn a little bit about NAMBA, but really most importantly, to install our newly elected officers for the Indianapolis chapter, which is our 26th chapter actually as well. And so on behalf of NAMBA, thank you for taking time out. On behalf of the team, I want to thank them for helping to put this together. So if you can, please give me a round of applause for help put this together. As I stated, my name is Tony Thompson. I'm the founder and CEO of NAMBA, which is called the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers of America. And you know, a lot of people say, well, how'd you end up calling it NAMBA? I said, look, at the end of the day, I kept trying to go NAM, NAMMB, NAMMB, National Association of Military Bands, and every time I went to go buy a website, it was sold, or it was taken, or it was already, you know, up. So I had to keep adding some numbers. So at the end of the day, NAMBA is a long story short, our goal is really simple. We want to help provide training, education, professional development to women and minorities who are in the industry. Although it says women and minority organizations, all inclusive, we're open to anyone. And then the second part of our mission is really simple. We want to also introduce college and high school students to careers in the industry and provide them with financial literacy. And so I'm going to talk about that in just a second. I promise you I will try to keep this to about 7 minutes and 50 seconds. If you can just bear with me, and I'll be out of your way because I do have a flight later on this evening. But I'm sure that the Indianapolis traffic is nothing like the Atlanta traffic, so I should hopefully not have. Okay. I heard that there was a little bit of work going on the Beltway or somewhere, but you know, we'll see. But I think we'll still be in good shape. But Diana said something that really. I was talking to someone last night. A young lady who works from Linden Tree up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and she called and she made a statement. We were getting some follow-up on our conference that we just had, our 3rd annual conference here this past April, and this individual said, she said, hey, I want you to understand that when I found NAMBA, it was at a perfect time in my life because I needed an organization that just could help me grow and develop. And most importantly, it was there to make a difference in me as an individual. And that was so humbling to know that at the end of the day, not only are we trying to help people grow their business and grow their careers, but really we're making a difference in people's lives, which is ultimately what we're all about. And the fundamental reason why we do what we do at NAMBA is to make a difference in people's lives. And so having said that, we want to make a difference in Indiana. We want to make a difference in Indianapolis, and we want to make a difference across the country. So the way that we do that is really simple. We have 4 strategic objectives. Everything that we do, all the money we raise, goes to support these 4 objectives of the organization. First is our national chapter build out. So that's what you see here. Helping to start and launch chapters across the country. Next week, I'm in the Big Apple in New Jersey. We've got chapters up there that we just launched in the last 6 months. But it's to support those chapters, give them the resources, give them the support they need early on in their infancy to become vibrant, to make an impact in the communities that we serve. Because ultimately, our long-term goal and the ultimate end of this association is to make sure that we create sustainable home ownership. You know, at the end of the day, we want to help people get in homes, stay at home, and the way we're going to do that is to help our partners and our affiliates, whether they are real estate professionals, operations professionals, or mortgage or other folks who are connected to the industry. Our goal is just to help you become better, and then ultimately that will help create a better consumer experience, and most importantly, to help those consumers to stay in their homes from a sustainable standpoint. So the first strategic initiative that we focus on is our chapter build out. We're only a 3-year-old organization. We currently have over 2,500 members, 2,579 to be exact as of last week, and we're growing. We have 75 corporate partners. Some of you are in this room, so for those who are supporting NAMBA and their companies, thank you very much. For those who are not supporters yet, we hope that you will get engaged and get your company engaged to support the organization. The second initiative that we have is something called a Leadership Academy. So once a year what we do is we put together leadership training for individuals in the industry to give them an opportunity to understand the entire mortgage industry and how the real estate finance industry works. This class is taught by experts who normally have what we call the CMB, Certified Mortgage Bankers designation. They usually each have about 20 to 25 years respectively in their industry. And so we go through within each session and we introduce them to sales, operations, servicing. We basically make them understand this is how the business works. Because if you just do one job and you never understand all the other pieces, how they connect, that is just as important. And then in those classes, we bring in CEOs from across the country, and these leaders talk about pressing issues and today's challenges that they're facing as industry leaders and what they're doing to navigate their companies as CEOs and senior executives. And then most importantly, they share a little bit about their journey, you know, how they got to where they got to and what was their story. The third initiative that we have is something called NAMBA at Work. So where we have large companies or partners who have large operation sites, where they're either servicing or operations employees, we know many times that those employees cannot get off of work. So NAMBA will go on site to a company's facility and we'll do a lunch and learn around professional development for those employees who cannot attend our event during the weekdays when they're held at locations like this. And then last but not least, something that, again, is very dear to me is our fourth and last strategic initiative called Mission 2025. And all that is really simple. We put out a goal that we want to introduce and connect 50,000 college students to careers in the industry. And so by 2025. So we want to get 50,000 students jobs in this industry by 2025. And the way that we're doing that is we're going to have, as an association, this chapter will get started and will become a very strong and vibrant chapter here in Indianapolis. And then in 3 years, we will be putting chapters on college campuses. This week, we had a call with the dean of North Carolina A&T, which is a historical black college and university, has a great business school. They actually are the #1, someone was talking about your daughter accounting. North Carolina A&T is the #1 HBCU that graduates the most accounting majors and is the only HBCU that has their CFP accreditation certification from the American Accounting Association as well. And so one of the things we're doing, just as an example with A&T, North Carolina A&T, there will be others, is this fall we're going onto the school's campus. We're participating on their college day. NAMBA will be speaking to talk about careers, but then we're also raising money through a foundation that we just launched this summer called the NAMBA Foundation. And what we're going to do is we're going to be in partnership with the Mortgage Bankers Association. We're going to be offering scholarships to students to come to events, pay for their transportation, pay for their hotel rooms, their food and room and board, because you know college kids don't have a lot of money these days, and we don't want them getting extra student grants that's going to mess them up later on. So we have a foundation that we've established, and essentially we're going to bring these students from across the country to local, regional, and national events and connect them with professionals like yourself to hear about our industry, to talk about opportunities, bring in CEOs, and then most importantly, have companies to raise their hands and say, we're looking for the best and the brightest emerging talent out there, and we want to hire those students. And that's our goal, is to get 50,000 students hired into this industry, actively employed, engaged, and earning an income, but most importantly, helping to make a difference in the communities that they live in. And so the way that program will work is in 3 years from now, we will actually have, our goal is to have chapters on college campuses. So throughout Indiana and the surrounding regions, we will have college chapters. They won't be called NAMBA, they'll be called a little bit something sexier for the college students. And then 5 years from now, the vision is to have clubs, high school clubs, that will be located in the communities that we have chapters in. And those clubs will teach kids about education in regards to financial literacy, as well as careers that they can grow up to be like in the real estate and real estate finance industry. This program has been funded by Freddie Mac as our founding partner. Currently today we have 75 companies that have signed up to support this initiative, and we're going through this summer to kind of launch a campaign, we call it a diversity pledge, to get more companies committed and basically the leaders to say, hey, we need more women and minorities and millennials in this industry, both in real estate and in real estate finance. And then NAMBA is going to take the baton, and we're going to do all the work to set up over 500 relationships across the country, and then over 5,000 schools down the road that will be able to get students at an early age, teach them about credit and financial literacy and money basis, but then also about what we do as professionals and the role and impact that we make in our communities. And no matter where they go to school, help them to get an internship, a co-op, or a full-time position so they can come out and graduate and then stay with NAMBA as a professional through the local chapter to continue to grow and develop their careers in all the programs that we have. So the reason why I say that vision is important is it all starts with having a solid foundation chapter. Because the chapters are going to be the ones that will pick the colleges here in Indiana and throughout the region that we go and establish local relationships with. Does that make sense? And then on top of that, you guys know the high schools in your community that need to benefit from financial literacy, that need to benefit from inspiration and motivation to show students what they can be and how they can be when they grow up. To give them something that they can aspire to give them a dream, to make somebody say, I want to be like you when I grow up. And then most importantly, we help them to be like you when they grow up. And so from that standpoint, that's our mission 2025, because I always tell people, if you've lived a life and all you've done is ever live, then you really haven't lived. And I believe that you should live a life to impact other people's lives. And when you do that, your life automatically becomes more impacted. And so our mission 2025 is to basically bring in the next generation of leaders, next generation of real estate and finance professionals in our industry. So those are the 4 initiatives that we have. As we grow, we have chapters. As we say, this is our 26th chapter that we're really, really excited about. And essentially, what happens here, guys, is as you become a member, our membership is only $35 a year. So it's a quick pitch for membership. If you want to join, please see one of these ladies here, and we can get you a quick form to fill out. But here's the benefit of our membership. Really simple. $35 a month, you get free webinars, you get discounts to the events that we have on the local, regional, or national level. So every year we do a 6-city tour across the country. We go to 6 major cities. This year, Freddie Mac, Essent, and Planet Home Lending are our tour sponsors. And we go in one day and we just do sales training so that people who could not come to Atlanta would be able to come to the regional event. And then we also do local events in the form of education. So we bring in speakers to talk about things that are important here in the Midwest region versus, when I'm in New York, there are a different set of priorities that they have, and then there's a different set in South Florida that people may have across the country. So we talk about things and issues, and we bring in training and resources that are relevant to your particular market, but then also that can help you grow your career as a real estate agent or as a lender as well. The second thing is, as an organization, we also provide a lot of, on the professional development side, the ability to connect you with other individuals, other resources, other companies as it relates to help you grow your business or to help understand how you can become better. And so our goal is just to think of it as a network that can connect you with local, on a regional or a national basis that ultimately is all geared toward helping you become better at what you do, growing your business and or your career. And so, long story short, that's NAMBA and who we are. We're based out of Atlanta. We have 4 full-time employees that work for the organization. I myself am not a full-time employee, a paid employee of the organization. I actually have a day job as well. For most folks who don't know me, I'm like you, I work in the mortgage industry as well, so I work for a company that's called Sheraton Mortgage, which is based out of Atlanta, Georgia. So I have two jobs, from 8 to 5, I'm usually working for Silverton, and then from 5 to 2 in the morning, I'm working for NAMBA. And that's the honest truth. And so I go back and forth and travel all over the country, but I'm very blessed that my employer supports what I'm doing. But most importantly, guys, we're excited about being here. This is a ground floor opportunity, but I also want to close out before I take any questions by saying that anything that started, when I think about any organization, and even some of the great organizations that you see today that you may belong to, that greatness could not have happened if early on in that period of that formation, people did not come together and help spread the word and help lift that organization up. And so I did the easy part. Everybody said there needed to be an organization where, no matter who you were, no matter who you worked for, no matter what color of your skin, if you wanted to grow, learn, and develop, you could actually come to this organization that would help you. And they said, hey, that would be a great idea to have. Whether you're real estate, whether you're mortgage, whether you're in, insurance, doesn't matter. So the organization started, but where the organization goes and how the organization evolves in the history will be made by all of you. It will be made by us. It won't be made by me. And so for me, my goal and my vision is just to say, if you think this is something that is needed in your community, if you think this is something that's needed in your company, if you think this is something that is needed in your region, and most importantly, if you believe we need to open the door and bring in some more people, a younger generation, and make sure that not only that they can walk through a door, but when they get on the other side of that door, they have a roadmap for their success, then let's take this Indianapolis chapter to a next level, support the leadership team that we have, and let us know in NAMBA how we can help this market be successful, and most importantly, create sustainable home ownership in our communities, and put people in homes that they can stay in and that they can live in and build great, healthy, vibrant communities across the country. And so on behalf of NAMBA, I want to thank you for your time, and we'll certainly stop to see if there are any questions about anything that I've said, and then we will swear in our newly installed leaders. Yes, ma'am.
Will you talk a little bit about the annual conference, and just kind of help those in the room understand sort of who's brought to us in terms of talent and information?
Yeah, so every year in April, we host a national conference in Atlanta, Georgia, and we'll be in Atlanta for the foreseeable future. And that's why we do a 6-city road tour in the fall. So from September to November, this year we're going to one-day events in DC, Chicago, which will be for this region. So as we grow Indianapolis, instead of having an event in Chicago, we're going to have it, my vision is to have it here in Indianapolis as a region. We go to Houston, LA, Orlando, and Charlotte, North Carolina. And so the goal of the national conference is just an awesome experience according to everyone who comes, because it's not a conference, it's an experience. And what I mean by that is we bring together housing counseling agencies, we bring together real estate professionals, mortgage professionals, and anyone who wants to connect. And what we do is we call it Connect 20 for next year. It's April 22nd through the 25th. And we have 2 days of training for loan originators. So you have 2 days of just training about how to grow your business. We bring in great speakers. We bring in great successful originators who are doing what you want to do to motivate you, to inspire you. We then have 2 days concurrently of real estate training. So we bring in some of the best real estate agents in the country. This past April, we had Lawrence Young, who is the chief economist for NAR, as well as over 25 other real estate top-performing agents doing training. And then we also bring in operations professionals as well, and we have 2 days of operations training. And then ultimately what happens is everyone throughout the course of the day comes back in for these, what we call keynotes. The keynotes are usually major speakers that will either enhance your life, change your life, motivate you, but also share something that really can pour into you to help go to the next level. And then in the evening, we have a big gala at the end of the conference on Friday. So the conference is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If you're in LO, it's Wednesday, half day Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, where we bring in nothing but all LOs to do the training for LOs. But on Friday night, we have a beautiful gala, and we recognize the top 100 originators in the country, as well as the top 25 best places to work for women and minorities in the industry. Next year, we're going to be adding an award that is the top 100 real estate agents in the country. And so no matter who you are, you have an opportunity to vie for that because it's a national recognition. And so we're really, really excited. Next year's event's already planned. It's going to be phenomenal. What I would tell you is our event that we're having in 2021 is going to be our 5th anniversary. And so for that, we've already been working on, and I'm hoping I'll sign the contract this week when I get back to Atlanta. But we're really, really excited about what we're getting ready to do for 2025. We're looking to have a really, really strong crowd. And most importantly, our keynote speakers, if all falls into play, will be some people that are going to just really be awesome for you to be around, that's going to pour into your life. One of them has wrote a book. They're on a book tour right now. And so we're on a really exciting opportunity that we feel like our 5th anniversary. If you can't come next year, save your money, because the 5th year is going to be off the chain, as we said in the ATL. And so thank you for asking about the conference. Any other questions about the organization? Come on now.
One more door. I'm all in.
Do you think this is something that is needed here in Indianapolis and Indiana?
Yes.
That the community, the real estate and finance community benefit from? Good. Any other questions before we move on? Yes.
Do you have a community that you're working with now that you talk just briefly about how successful they've been in getting younger people in the industry?
I'm sorry, say that again?
About getting young people into the industry? Do you have a good example that you're working with?
Yeah, so our Mission 2025 started out as part of our vision, again, kind of level set. The first emphasis was I have a full-time job, and then we have a team that supports us. And so as we do things, I've learned that you can't build Rome overnight. And so what happens is, being a 3-year organization, we launched our Mission 2025 kind of late last year. And the first goal that we did is we brought about students last year to the conference just to start testing out how we're going to do this. And then this year we brought over 100 students to the conference in Atlanta from about 12 schools that were primarily based in the Southeast, because again, it's early formation. What we're doing now is we've actually hired a person, and we have one person on my team that is beginning to work with the schools where we have chapters up and running. We're contacting schools this summer, and we're saying, hey, we're NAMBA, here's what we're doing, here's what we're all about. We want to begin to partner with your college to get your students access to our association and get engaged and get involved in the industry, as well as build a partnership to help get those students jobs. And so what we started doing, other than the conference where we brought in 100 students, is the first part of this 3-year plan is we're going to do 2 beta pilots with college cities, as we call them, in the country. One is on the East Coast, and then one will most likely be in the LA area, because we have a strong chapter out there. And so, like, for example, Raleigh, they have something called in North Carolina the Research Triangle area. So you may have heard of Duke, NC State, but we've got a number of like Tier 1, Division 1 schools, and then we also have in Raleigh-Durham a number of HBCUs. And so we're going to take a city that has a lot of multiple colleges, and we're going to basically kind of use a beta pilot to kind of test this program out, where we have 5, 7, or 8 schools in 2 or 3 cities in a large metropolitan area to get the program down pat. So we'll go a whole year where we will go on the campus and do internships. I mean, talk about jobs and opportunities. Freddie Mac, through our partnership, we're making a toolkit where we'll teach these students about financial literacy. And then the other piece will be where we will essentially work with those students to start working with the chapters in regards to doing joint programs together so that the students can get to know professionals in the industry and then ultimately have competitions for those students that they can win, just like the spelling bee. You know, you start out in your chapter where you can win a competition, then you go to a regional competition. So whenever we have regional events for NAMBA, NAMBA will also have regional events for students. And then ultimately, every year we'll have a national event for our members as well as a national event for students. And NAMBA will pay for all those students to come to Atlanta, Georgia. And the goal and the vision is all the companies who come to Atlanta to our national conference will have to sign up to hire a student. So I'm guaranteeing students jobs who go through this process. You know, you win your chapter or you do well in your chapter, you do well at your regional, you get to go to Atlanta, you're gonna walk away with some type of internship, full-time employee, whatever the case may be. And so that's kind of the vision. Because every company that I've talked to, every CEO I've talked to said, hey, I need more young people. Hey, call me. You know, I hear about the program, I need this. So we're trying to position where we can be that kind of do it for them. But it's a slow walk because what we found is dealing with colleges is every college is different, every college is big, small, and so, you know, we're working on getting that process down pat. And then we'll scale it. Great question. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Well, I want to make a comment. I went to the Atlanta conference in April, and I have to say Jamie Dimon wasn't there, but the person that he sent, his vice president or whatever.
Lawrence Bailey from Chase.
Lawrence Bailey,
Yep.
yeah. Wells Fargo, all of the big banks had people there that were walking around that you could talk to them, and the information that I received during that 3 or 4 days of the conference was just fantastic. It was awesome. So it's something that you all want to make sure that you get to because it was off the chain. And thank you for that.
No, thank you. And our goal is, you know, even though we're a 3-year-old organization, we try to bring in great speakers that are going to add a difference and make a difference in people's lives. And most important, we try to give you content, right? Again, if you heard me say our goal is to help you grow your business or your career, that's all we do. That's all. We're not a political action organization. All we do is just focus on the people who are in real estate and real estate finance, helping them to be the best that they can be to make a difference in their lives, and then hopefully them making a difference in the communities that they do business in. And so that's what we focus on, and we bring people together to create a great experience. And the beautiful part is everybody who's at our conference, they're there for the same reason you are, and it just creates a great euphoria of just wanting to go all in, to just learn all you can and meet everyone you can. I think everybody will say, if they come to the NAMBA conference, one of the great things that people say is, everybody talks to everybody. Well, our tagline is connect, grow, and lead. You can't grow if you don't connect. So we want people to connect. That means you got to get to know everybody, grow, learn, and then ultimately reach back and become a leader and give and help someone else. So I thank you for those comments. Any others before we, yes ma'am.
There's a lot of concern now about the mortgage industry changing. Loan officers behind the electronic, what's going on for you?
Well, I mean, the best way to, like next week or the 19th, I think I'm in Charlotte. One of our best sessions we had, for example, was loan officer comp. So as a loan originator, and just like on the housing side, on the real estate side, you guys are being challenged by commissions and fintech, and everybody can sell a home, by just looking at the computer. They think they can. And so we all know if you're a professional that there's more than just push a button and get a mortgage. Nothing to get me wrong, Quicken Loans is a sponsored thing, sponsored NAMBA, but sometimes you just can't just push a button and get a mortgage. And so what we want to do is, as I tell people, our goal is real simple. We want to help you as an agent or as a lender prepare for the future. Because the one thing is, sir, is going to change. whether you like it or not, it is going to change. You know, I'm learning how to understand, you know, if my mom is on Facebook, I gotta openly get on Facebook, you know. I mean, I'm just learning about technology, and I'm not a Facebook guy, but I gotta be where my mom at. You know, she keeping up with me, so I gotta keep up with her and the senior citizen board. You know, I gotta know what's going on in their world, just like she knows what's going on in mine. And so the point I'm trying to make is, our goal is to help you not be afraid of change, but help you to position yourself for change to grow your business. Because any successful company, just like any successful individual, should not be afraid of change, but should say, look, if things are going to change, and I want to be prepared for that, and NAMBA's here to give you the training. And for $35 a year, you know, we're getting ready to go into the fall where most loan officers need more business, their business dips. We have a fall webinar series where we bring over 15 or 20 originators and great sales practitioners, and we give free webinars on how to grow your business in the fall and the winter months so that you don't starve and you don't go broke. You know, same way for the agents. You know, we give you information that is practical and that is being applied today. So we don't sell anything. We don't do anything that's not successful. If we're doing it, it works. And so the whole goal is to give you the tools and the resources you need so that even if this industry change, you won't be the one that is impacted by that. And you know, I'll give you an example. You know, really brief. I got an email yesterday from a young lady that I met and know, and actually used to work for me a long time ago. But her email was really simple. Tony, please see my updated resume. And you know, it's 6 months later, and I still need a job because she was impacted by, you know, some right shifting, downsizing, technological advances at her current company. Well, first of all, that broke my heart to know that 6 months later you still need a job. You know, I said, hey, call me. I'm traveling, but call me. Let's see if we can make something happen here. The point I'm making is our goal is to help people prepare for that change. And I tell people, don't call NAMBA when you need a job. Call NAMBA before you need a job by connecting. Because if you build your network, that will help you when this shift comes. Because the shift will come in our industry. And so we all want to help. We want to help our partners and our members understand it is important for you to think about tomorrow and to prepare for tomorrow. And so I said that because I think it's important that, you know, that's one of the reasons why we're for operations employees, because we want to help them shift their skill sets. There's going to be a lot of shifting of operation jobs, in my opinion, because of technology. You know, anytime I can walk into a McDonald's and I don't have to give a person at McDonald's my order because I'm punching it in a screen, if McDonald's can do that, then obviously companies in the mortgage industry have to look at optimization. And that's fine. We want companies to be optimal. But the point I'm making is then, okay, if you're going to be that person, potentially, if your job is going to be impacted, how do you adjust? How do you pivot? How do you prepare? That's what we're here for, is to help you understand that, help you understand the trends, and then give you the resources and the tools that you need to pivot and prepare for your next opportunity. Good question. Any other questions? Comments, statements? Okay, so let's get our leadership newly getting ready to be installed leaders. If you guys can come up here in front of everyone, and I can turn on my pad.
Terry?
Huh? Did she forget?
All right, so It is my pleasure to install the new chapter leadership for the Indianapolis NAMBA chapter for the 2019 to 2020 year. I've asked you guys to come forward, so Sheraton Hotel, First Merchants Bank is our president. Bootland. I apologize.
That's okay.
Bootland. Dorothy Dodd, Vice President for Centura Bank. Terry Todd, Secretary with Key Bank Board. Dottie Hillman, who's our Treasurer for First Financial Bank. As chapter leaders of NAMBA Indianapolis, you set the policy for the association and carry out the program of work. You vote on the acceptance of members who wish to join, giving you careful consideration that those who join agree to abide by our canon of ethics. To all of you, the office to which you have been elected is one of dignity and importance. In accepting the office, you undertake a responsibility which is not to be assumed lightly, nor discharged carelessly. With the canons of ethics and bylaws as your guide, you are charged with governing this organization. As the newly elected officers, raise your hand, your right hand, please. As the newly elected officers, do you accept this charge? If you will, say, I will.
I will.
Sherry, will you please step forward and raise your hand? Sherry, do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the NAMBA Indianapolis chapter? And do you agree to the best of your ability to serve as an example of the philosophy of this association as set forth in our canons of ethics? If so, say I will.
I will.
I would like to, on behalf of NAMBA, congratulate you officially. You are installed, and I wish you the best. And I would like to introduce to the Indianapolis community the newly installed leadership team of our 26th chapter and our organization, Indianapolis. We're going to stand right here. We're going to take one picture. If you can get a picture of all of us. So, as we close out, guys, I want to say thank you again. Feel free to stay and network. The one thing I do want to ask you to do is to help this group of leaders and professionals who have helped to pour in and start and launch this chapter. We need you to go out and spread the word in the community that NAMBA is for everyone and that we are here in Indianapolis, and to have people to join and get engaged. And then you have my full support that we will be supporting this market, this region, with the tools, the resources that you need to be successful and to make a difference in our community. And so if you could just help me, but most importantly, help these young ladies here, go out and spread the word and connect us with organizations and other people in our industry to introduce NAMBA to. I would certainly, on behalf of our organization and this mission, be very grateful and be very appreciative for that as well. And so, Sherry, anything else that we need to say?
You know, again, we just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for, supporting us. I want to thank Diana for her vision and for bringing NAMBA here to Indianapolis. And we're just really, really excited. We're going to be doing a retreat here just to kind of get an idea of what we want to do collectively here in our city. And then hopefully, we'll start having our monthly meetings with all of you that are members. And we're really going to try to get Indianapolis, as probably is one of the best chapters that Tony's going to have.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you guys so much for coming, and enjoy the food and the drinks, and just